Betting on sports can be hard, but hiring Morgan & Morgan is easy. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They have over 100 offices nationwide and more than 1,000 lawyers. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/bestbets or dial #law, #529 from your cell phone. That's forthepeople.com/bestbets. This is a paid advertisement.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. We're live on Boxing Day. Happy holidays, everybody. Hope you had a great Christmas, Hanukkah, and you're having a great Boxing Day. We'll start this hour with best bets in the world of soccer as the Meat Man Steve Wyss joins the program now. Follow him on X at Meatman Soccer. He's part of the Nordic Football Podcast. And also because we win, Steve, happy holidays. We appreciate the time as always. Let's start with this. Maybe if you go back like in August, you could have made the case that fading one Manchester side would have been very profitable this entire season. But both, crazy. What this continued again today, obviously. And you had this call last Thursday when you were with us, and you said, fade, Man U. Today, they lost. I grabbed plus 340 on the Wolves in that match before it started. Do you think this is going to continue, like it's going to be profitable to fade both Manchester sides going into the new year?
Well, happy holidays to you guys. Hope you're doing well. And, this is the worst state the two Manchester clubs combined have been in a long, long time. I think between them, they must have knocking on the door over 20 Premier League titles. But, I mean, Manchester City they have no confidence at all. I mean, Erling Haaland missed a penalty today. You can tell in their body language. Maybe eventually they'll pick up because I think it's a confidence issue. Manchester United, their problem is they're just bad. They're just awful.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I think this new manager who came in about a month or so ago, I reckon he wishes he could clean out a dozen players in the January transfer window. The whole squad needs gutting. It really does. Both of them are terrible at the moment. And Manchester United there, I faded them with Bournemouth at the weekend. Today, Wolves were a big price. Nigel Seeley was on them. I mean, they're a gift at them in Manchester United. And, it's no surprise later on I will be fading them again on Monday.
Sorry, a childish red card, too, as I understand it. It's like losing your composure and you're a man down for half the match, which you have no shot then. You're drawn dead. And that's what happened.
Captain as well. The captain.
Okay.
I mean, you meant to set an example. You meant to lead by example. It's the third red card he's had this season, Bruno Fernandes.
Wow.
I mean, that's disgraceful, isn't it? As a captain, that's just not good enough.
Yeah, well said. Tomorrow, all right, back on the train. Brentford plays Brighton. First half over. You've been doing this all year. What's the number here with Brentford tomorrow?
Well, the bet's got to be Brentford over 1.25 first half goals at minus 117. I'm back on this train here. Now, this is an interesting matchup because of the owners, not the actual clubs. The two owners have strong links to sports betting syndicates. So there's a bit of rivalry between the two owners here. They don't get on. They used to work together, and they sort of split in a bit of a nasty way, a bit of bad blood, and both these sides will be up for this. Don't be surprised if the cards come in here, if you're betting on over cards. But I'm going back on the goals because Brentford are just known. I mean, Brighton only have 2 first-half draws this season. Brentford only have 4 draws at half-time, which basically means they're either winning or losing. In Brighton's case, they're often winning at half-time. I'm a little bit worried about Brentford, guys. I think they've got a shocking away record. Their away form is terrible. And if their home form does start to dry up, they could, if they're not careful, get sucked into a little bit of trouble. Their defence is so poor, and they don't really convince me at the back. So I think the first half goals is I'm going with the 1.25 Asian line. I've cashed on it before. It's worked well for me before. And in this instance, I think Brighton come out really strong. I think Brighton are going to win this game, by the way. I'm not going to bet on Brighton, but I do believe they will win. And I've mentioned before how Brentford do have a knack of scoring in the first half of matches this season. But even if they don't score, I think Brighton are capable of scoring 2 on their own.
It was a full card today. They take Saturday off. They're back out at Sunday. How about Crystal Palace, Southampton?
I think we got to start getting on the unders in the Southampton games because they changed their manager He got sacked after losing 5-0 against Spurs. And the two matches since have ended 0-0 and 0-1. They've got a new manager in. They're called Ivan Juric. He managed a team in Italy called Torino. And last season, they had the most under 2.5 goal games in Italy. The season before, they had the second most under 2.5 goal games. So you know what this manager's going to come in. It's a complete change of style. They're going very defensive now. They almost want a little bit of self-respect. I think they're going to get relegated. I think they probably know they're going to get relegated. They just don't want to get battered every week, as you would say over here. And I think under 2.75 goals is a good bet here. Crystal Palace. The problem with Palace, they play nice soccer. They miss too many chances. They've got too many players who shoot wildly and from positions that they're never going to score from. They've got a big expected goals under achievement, which I don't think it's bad luck anymore. I think it's just bad finishing. So knowing Palace, they'll probably labour to a 1-0 win, maybe even a 0-0. But I think the goal line should be 2.5 here. So 2.75 goal line under at -105. Southampton can't score goals either, by the way. They're really poor offensively. So I think it will be quite a poor game, which Palace might only just win by, say, 1-0.
All right, back on your other team, Nottingham Forest. You bet Brentford overs, Nottingham Forest unders. They're in action Sunday against Everton.
Nottingham Forest have just kept a clean sheet against Brentford away, which is sensational. And then against Tottenham today, 1-0. Yeah. So it just shows how good they are defensively. And we kind of forgot that a bit because they got sucked into a few high-scoring games. But they showed what they're about in the last two matches. And they're so hard defensively to break down when they're in this sort of mood. Everton, Nottingham Forest, the 0-0 detector is definitely out here. Both teams average a low number of goals this season, 2.2 per game and 2.4 per game. And both sides rank in the top three for under 2.5 goal matches in the Premier League this season. So it's a clash of real sort of two old-fashioned managers who it's going to be quite a physical game. Stop-start, free kicks, things like that, set pieces. I really am struggling to see where the goals are going to come from here. Everton have defended extremely well of late. Gone to Arsenal and Man City and drawn. So fair play to them for that. And Forest are going so well. So under 2.25 on the Asian line at -110. I think is a good bet here. Again, 0-0 detectors out in operation. If anyone scores a goal, they're just going to be like a dog with a bone and try and hold on to it.
Okay. How about going back with the Wolves here? Opposing Tottenham, draw no bet, 3-1.
How can anyone bet on Tottenham right now? Their manager looks a mess. He's under huge pressure. Ange Postecoglou generally might get fired very, very soon. Seriously, The big problem, he's got injuries defensively. I mean, he's got the centre back pairing today was Dragusin, who's a Romanian international, and a young lad called Archie Gray, who used to play for my own team that I support, Leeds United. Archie Gray, on no planet is he a centre back. He's a midfielder or a right back. I mean, it's just unfair. And it just kind of sums up Tottenham's problems. And I think they're worth opposing here. Draw no better, +300 on Wolves. Wolves have just beaten Man United 1-0. They beat Leicester 3-0. Another team, change of manager. The difference compared to, say, Southampton and Leicester changing their managers is that Wolves have got decent quality on paper. And I think this new Portuguese manager just instilled some new confidence. You know, we don't know what's going to happen to Matheus Cunha, the guy who I mentioned the last time I was on, he somehow has escaped this ban. So far, he played in both matches over Christmas, and he scored in both games. At some point, he will get suspended, but they seem to be delaying the suspension, so maybe he might get lucky and get to play in this game as well. But Spurs have to be opposed here, Tottenham. All right. The way things are going, they're a defensive mess. So draw no bet on Wolves, +300. You're a full stake return if it is a tie.
Follow the Money, Pauly and Mitch Wyss in the Sports Betting Network. Steve Wyss, our guest at Meatman Soccer on X, Nordic Pod. And because we win pod, he's on the Progressive guest line. Two more. I can't believe this price. So you've had back-to-back winners opposing Man U. Monday, they take on Newcastle. How about the price on this here? Draw no bet.
It's going to be an automatic bet right now. You've got to oppose Manchester United. This kind of feels a wrong price because historically you would never see Newcastle as I think they're going to kick off favourites. At the minute, it's a pick 'em, but they are going to kick off favourites. That feels a little bit wrong down the years, but you've got to be in the here and now with betting. You can't, base stuff on reputation. This Manchester United team's awful. They have nothing about them at the moment. The fans are not behind the players. The manager is going to demand new transfers in the upcoming transfer window, and Newcastle are flying. I mean, I mentioned them a couple of weeks ago before the Leicester game, and I was on them there. They just won 4-0, 4-0, 3-0. So they're flying, Newcastle United, and I think they can come here and be really confident about taking the game to Manchester United, who are just basically, this is an automatic fade right now, Man United, until they get new players and sort themselves out. The captain, Bruno Fernandes, is suspended, as we said. Mm-hmm. I mean, some fans might actually see that as a positive because he has been lackluster this season. But I mean, I think when a player of his quality is ruled out, that has to be a blow. So Newcastle draw no bet -106, full draw security here. I don't see Manchester United suddenly randomly rocking up and winning a game. They have nothing about them at the moment, and they have to be opposed until we see something different on the field.
Steve, what's the highest number you would play that at, by the way? Because I'm seeing a little bit higher here in the States.
I would go down to -130 on draw no bet here for Newcastle.
Okay, 30 seconds. How about one in the championship Sunday? You want to oppose Luton on the road again? It's been an ATM.
Yes, absolute cash cow, this one. Was anyone on Bristol City today because Luton lost away from home yet again? 8 defeats in a row away from home for Luton Town, and we can get +125 on Swansea. A Swansea team that went and drew 1-1 in the reverse fixture at Luton and outplayed them that day.
Okay.
This is a long trip to Wales, the west of Wales. Luton have already been on the road today. They're horrible. The only problem here might be if they do sack their manager. Rob Edwards, I think, is going to get sacked at some point soon. I don't think they'll do it with only a 3-day gap, though. And I just don't think anything changes with Luton Town. They are just an horrendous travelling team. Amazingly, there's 2 teams with a worse away record than them in the Championship, Plymouth and Oxford. I mean, just imagine how bad they are away from home. Luton don't travel well. It's got to be Swansea money line, +125. Get on.
All right, pal. Happy New Year. Thanks for the time. We appreciate that.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Cheers.
Follow him on X, @BeMan Soccer. Win some, lose some. Coming up next.
Night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Christmas Day football, Worthy first touchdown, 12-1. Watson anytime touchdown, 14-1. Most receiving yards in the early game, Kelsey +350. Most receiving yards on Christmas, Kelsey 14-1. What do you, 80 yards, does it?
Took care of it.
How about that number?
I can't. The Watson anytime TD was 14-1.
That's what it has said at Caesars, yeah.
Wow.
That's a big number.
Oh, yes, it is.
Henry first touchdown +350. Andrews anytime touchdown, 11-1. Safety.
No, that was first. That was first.
Oh, so
anytime he was about 2-1 or a little bit shy
my
of that.
fault. Yep. My fault. Yep. Safety, 10-1. No, excuse me. Andrews most receiving was 11-1. Yep.
Was it in the game?
The guy screwed that up. Yep.
Oh.
Most receiving yards was 11-1 for Andrews. And he got there as well because of the long one.
Yeah.
Safety 10-1. That cashed. Man City, Everton draw +450. Happened again. They have 1 win since late October. Fulham +525. Shock Chelsea. More on that coming up. Wolverhampton +320. They beat Man U. And a man sent off in the first half, as we just talked about. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. You mentioned your bad, what happened over the weekend with Ricky Henderson.
Yeah.
How about this, though, where you don't think, you're like, wow, I look in my closet, I have no idea. The Ricky Henderson 1980 Topps rookie card with a grade 10 is $144,000, the value, because you can't find any of them. And Darren Ravel had an article on this that you go back and you just can't find that. It's nothing special, but you can't find that card. But going back, it's one thing. How do I take care of it? I would throw it in a box somewhere. It was rookie year 1980. And to think that it's just centered, perfectly cut, whatever, it's like almost impossible to find that card in that condition.
I have one, and it's, sorry, but far from mint condition, which sucks.
Damn.
And it has been, like, it had that crease in the lower right corner. It's probably had that for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened to it. It's one of those things where, how dumb was I when I was 12 years old and I had that card?
Well, we would think at the time. You know, it goes back to your dad with the Mickey Mantle stuff, but that's absolutely, that's a tough one. Lose some. Hope you had a better Christmas day than Charlton's goalkeeper in 1937. Our friend Joe sent this to me. It was on X. On Christmas Day, 1937, during a soccer match between Charlton Athletic and Chelsea, the Charlton goalkeeper saw no action for quite some time. He was approached by a policeman and told due to the thick fog the game had been called off 15 minutes earlier. He hadn't heard the whistle. What is that? What's going on? I can't see that. And apparently, Paul Charchian was on 2 hours ago, with a Chicago radio station, and they're expecting fog. It could be Fog Bowl 2 tonight. That's what the people in Chicago told him.
So none of this guy's teammates came over to say anything to him?
I don't know nothing, yeah. Just out of sight, out of mind.
Hey, buddy, game's over.
Right, like Frank Costanza, like the war's still going on to me. It's like the guys you hear about in the jungle. They find them years later. What's going on? Hey, the war's over, buddy. Okay, I can go home now. That's it. That's crazy. Bad beat today. Chelsea was $2. The total was $3. Draw was plus 370. It was 1-0 in the 80th minute, and then they gave up one in the 95th minute again, and they lost 2-1. Incredible. If you're the kind of player who wants to drop $10,000 or more in an NFL game at the best price, and you're looking for instant acceptance on your in-game bets, you need Sport Trade, an app that's revolutionizing sports betting. $4 lines instead of the standard $10. Instant in-game betting, player service. Sports Trade delivers a premium betting experience like no other. Live in Jersey, Colorado, Iowa, Arizona, and Virginia. Download Sport Trade today. Use code VEASAN. 10% cash back on every wager during your first week. Got to be 21 or older to play. Love you, Sport Trade. $4 lines, high limits. Get it now.
So we do have a bowl game going on. It's Pitt and Toledo. Toledo led this game 20-12 at halftime. Pitt was laying 6.5 in the game. Pitt came roaring back to take a 30-20 lead, and they just threw a pick six, I believe is what happened.
Oh, wow.
So now it's Pitt 30, Toledo 27, and it looks like we have a little bit shy of 8 minutes to play in the game. So it looks like this is going to come down to the wire for the point spread.
Damn. And Liverpool just beat Leicester 3-1. You ever seen a soccer side? Leicester City was 23-1 to win. And the total was 4.
Yeah, how many 4s do you see?
Yeah.
Couple things. We have a bowl game starting in around 10 minutes. It's Rutgers versus K-State.
Who you like?
Well, this was 6.5. I like K-State at that number. It's now 7.5.
Yeah, they're saying all the right things.
And we found out news today. This was like a big back and forth. Is the star running back for Rutgers, Kyle Monangai, is he going to play? Nope. So bye-bye to those almost 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns. He's not playing in the game. I know the Wildcats, they're missing a couple of guys. Right tackle Carver Willis, he's not playing. Wide receiver is out. 2 guys in the secondary. A couple of other players, including their star running back, DJ Giddens, more than 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns, opted out for the NFL draft. And this is at Circa right now, up to 7. I'm looking at the odds screen. Plenty of 7.5s out there if you have interest in Rutgers. K-State's a better football team.
Yeah, I like them. Not to mention they're ticked off all the season. Had bad taste in their mouth.
That and Chris Kleiman has been really good in these spots. He's 4-0 straight up in ATS on a neutral field. I should say the Wildcats are that number, or are those numbers under him as the head coach.
Gets fun now. There's 8 bowl games Saturday. There's a bunch tomorrow. And we got the triple header today. And remember we mentioned like the record's misleading because the numbers are so bad with Arkansas State. But big move on Bowling Green. We're up to 10.5s now in the market.
Yeah, I got talked into playing their team total over 31.5 at plus money. A couple of reasons why. Arkansas's defense is not good. They just played in a 40-32 game against Old Dominion. They have played 4 overs in their last 6 games, and they run top 20 tempo in the country. They snap the ball every 23, so they go like super fast on offense and have a really bad defense. And there's also this good tweet from Tim Murray, who we're going to be in for an hour with tonight, getting you set for Thursday Night Football. He asked the question on Twitter, will history be made tonight in this bowl game? As Bowling Green tight end, Harold Fannin is 12 catches away from the all-time tight end record of 111 in a season. And you could find him at some books. I know FanDuel and out here at Boyd. He bet it, I believe, 9.5. It was over minus 132. So that angle there, of him maybe, do they play him? Do they just pepper him the entire time with here's another target, here's another one?
Remember that game, T.O.? Like, it was like a last game of the season. What do you have, 20-some catches?
20 catches,
yeah.
Yeah, so that could be one angle for tonight anyway.
Sure.
And I think it's they lost a couple of starters to Power 4 schools in the portal, but the quarterback's going to be playing. They've scored 31-plus in 3 out of their last 5 games. And do they try to get this kid, the all-time record at tight end? Something to watch for tonight anyway.
Yep.
That's a 9 p.m. East Coast time kickoff between Bowling Green and Arkansas State. So I don't know, but anyway. So
I got it.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett says he's good to go.
He is.
Let me see where that number went.
We're probably going to have to wait. Well, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Hurts is going to be able to give it a shot?
Would you play him? I wouldn't play him.
I mean, after the loss last week, I would not.
Yeah, play Pickett. They win the game if Smith doesn't drop that. So,
I like what Charchin was spot on earlier. Pickett's not playing defense. Mm-hmm. He's not the guy who gave up 5 touchdown passes and a bunch of rushing yards to Jaden Daniels. That look-ahead number, by the way, was Eagles minus 11.5.
Yeah.
We will not be doing look-ahead lines for next week. Books won't post them because it's week 18, and there's a bunch of stuff that could happen where these point spreads could move in theory, 6, 7, 8 points. But, today, if they put them out to the opening numbers on Sunday night based on playoff probabilities and everything like that. You said this, sir, I think it was during the break. Where'd the Broncos playoff number go?
Oh, yeah, $8. Because of Kansas City's win, Denver's now minus $8 to make the playoffs. Because you're going to get Denver, you're going to play backups. Now, does Andy Reid, you can't sit guys for 23 days.
Rich Gannon was on Wednesday when you were out.
What did he say?
He said, based on the history and knowing Andy Reid, he's like, he doesn't think any of them will play.
Really?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big one Saturday because I know Cincinnati's odds took a huge hit as a result. Denver minus $8, Cincinnati plus $750. The Chargers are minus 4,000. The Colts are 9-1. Miami's 14-1. But are you really going to sit guys for that long?
I wouldn't.
I'd play them a half or at least. Oh boy. But Denver also, but that's the Kansas City side of it. But Denver also could catch a break where Higgins doesn't play. That's a tough game because you have all that time to prepare, and Cincinnati can't stop anything, and Denver wins. They're in.
I'll just give you one example: the 2011 Packers. Right? They were 15-1. They didn't play their starters in the final week of the season. That was the Matt Flynn game when he went crazy against Detroit. They won the game to go to 15-1. So they sat their players, the starters in that week. They had the bye week. They hosted like a really average Giants team in the divisional round of the playoffs. The game was over at halftime. Packers got absolutely obliterated by New York.
Yep.
We have a Thursday night football betting preview coming up next, and you won't believe what I witnessed at a casino gift shop this week. Startling. Details on that coming up here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. Happy holidays. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard. We'll get to a Thursday night football preview, which is going to include our G-Bank bet of the night coming up in a few moments. I have been to a lot of casinos over the last week or so. Stayed on the Strip for a couple of nights recently. Been watching football out, coming down here to Circa, hanging out downtown a little bit. You won't believe what I saw with my own eyes at a gift shop.
I like it.
The guy in front, I'm there getting a...
edge of my seat.
Like a bite to eat, just something, a quick snack, right? Guy in front of me orders a pack of Marlboro Lights, and for some reason that got my attention. I'm not a smoker. I couldn't tell you how much a pack of smoke costs today. I don't know how much a carton of smokes cost, right? I have no idea. I think when I worked at a grocery store when I was 18, smokes back then were maybe $2 a pack. Does that sound right?
Is that when the guy with Tourette's wanted grape juice?
Oh, don't run down that. That's, oh my God.
Go ahead.
I haven't thought about that story in so long.
Alan Boston, it'll end the show early. Go ahead.
Okay, so the guy asked the cashier for a pack of Marlboro Lights. Take a guess what the response was to the cost. And the guy's the guy's reaction was just like
a pack of cigarettes?
Like somebody punched him in the stomach,
No, it's
and he bought him anyway.
okay, it's funny out here because there are spots that's called Dottie's and other spots. You go and you can gamble. But one of the key things to get you in the door is cheap cigarettes and cheap alcohol that you can buy. So people go there for their cigarettes and their alcohol, and then, hey, maybe you might put $100 in the machine and lose while you're here.
Keep in mind, I paid $9 for a bottle of water over the weekend.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, there was no price.
On the Strip?
Dying, yeah, on the Strip. Had
no
to get
price,
one.
Dying,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, I've never had a cigarette in my life. Healthy guy, you know. As I have my fifth Coca-Cola today. Okay, $15.
21 and change.
Get out of here. For a pack of cigarettes?
21 and change.
Get lost.
I did a triple take.
Oh.
The guy buying him was like mystified.
Why did he pay it?
He had to he assumed it was going to be like a 10 spot would take care of it.
How much? We got smokers back there. How much is a pack of cigarettes?
I'm going to guess nowadays $6-7.
That's what isn't a carton $20? $19.99?
I think that's what they used to be.
$21 for a pack of cigarettes. And there's
one pack.
How many are in a pack? 12?
I think
14?
20.
Oh, it is?
I think 20 maybe in a pack.
Oh my God, that's
no. Okay, the going right now is about $8.50.
Well, that takes it to a whole new level when I'm a pack a day smoker. Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm not around that. That's not.
Oh. The look on his face was...
Oh, he's blown away. He's like looking around. He's like, anybody else hearing this? I'm like, yeah, I'm right here. I heard it. Yes.
Put your hands down.
He's like, I got a 10. He's like, I got a couple of ones. He's got change. And he's like shaking his head the whole time. And he had to have them, though.
Oh, my God. So I took Shauna shopping for her birthday. And there was this high-end place over here. And they have, what's it called? Balenciaga?
It's in the Lizzo song.
They have what? Yeah, there's $200,000 handbags. Like, who would pay that? What are you going to do with it? Live in it? It's like Mickey Rourke. What do you think about an Oscar, an Academy Award? What would it mean to you? I can't do anything with it. I can't have sex with it. I can't. What does it mean to me at the end of the day, right? I have nothing. I mean, who pays $200,000 for a handbag? I'm looking, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. $100,000, $200,000. Like, yeah.
Well, we were just at the Bellagio because we took Sebastian there for the conservatory.
Oh, it was a good move. Great.
I'd never seen that many people there in my entire life.
Yeah.
And we try to go a couple times a year. They do an amazing job with it. If you've never been, you got to go at some point.
You have to.
So we walk. What's the other one called? Is it Hermes? Lorraine's telling me we ran into a guy actually that we know. How about this? We ran into a local who she used to work with. He was there buying his wife a belt for Christmas. And Lorraine is telling both of us like how much the most expensive, I don't remember what it was. It was like 60, 70,000 or whatever. And you have to wait. There's a waiting list. She thinks it's like a 3-year waiting list that you have to get that one bag.
Like Packer season tickets? Oh my God. That's what that people are all over that Bob Voulgaris from time to time. He's done very well with Bitcoin and one of the best NBA bettors ever. He puts the scarf around his dog's neck. The dog wears it. It's like a $10,000
scarf.
Oh. What's the dumbest thing you did on the Strip in terms of like Christmas or wait? I think I told this on air.
Oh God.
I sat in line once because everyone has a price and my price was $12 million. Megabucks had just happened. I sat in line at the Rio buffet with Megabuck's mom and dad and waited 90 minutes. Hold on. Later that week, her sister waited in line at the M buffet for 4 hours.
4 hours?
She had a hot dog in line. I go, why would you do that? She waited in line at the buffet on Christmas for 4 hours.
That many people go to the buffet on Christmas? Anyway, this past weekend, very popular casino, evidently. I thought the whole city was dead around Christmas time.
Not on the Strip. People don't want to cook.
I could not believe how many people, this is late at night, both nights on the weekend, how many people were waiting to get checked into the rooms at registration. And then I'm asking the lady, I'm like, is it always this busy on Christmas? And they're like, this is nothing. They're like, wait till tomorrow. They said it's a European Christmas. Everybody comes over here from different countries. Americans don't travel to Las Vegas, evidently. I think it's from Asian countries and European countries. And they completely take over the city at the buffet at a very popular casino on Saturday or Sunday night. I'm getting it confused now. I'm telling you, there were more than 200 people in line at 8:15 at night if there was one person. You couldn't move. They were sardines waiting that late to hit the buffet. And I think it's $100 for the buffet.
Yeah. If you're hungry, that's why I got to eat now.
There was no room to stand.
Now. Why am I going to wait 2 hours to eat?
The place has 100 restaurants there.
I don't understand smoking. Everyone has a device, or maybe a
vice.
A vice.
A vice,
me.
yeah. Or multiple vices.
Yeah, vices. But it goes back to, like, if I gamble, I could still win. I've seen people win life changes happen to me with $12 million. I don't understand that, hey, I smell like an ashtray now. You can't come near me. My clothes stink. It's $20 a pack, right? I'm doing damage to my body. That one I never got.
No, I know. And did anybody in your family ever smoke?
Oh, yeah. Mom and Dad.
No, that's right.
Yeah, my dad did it all.
My dad sucked down a pack a day.
Wow.
And I would just be like, Dad, you got to stop this stuff, man. Eventually, because of really bad health problems, he quit cold turkey. I'm like, you probably should have done that.
Go to my mom. That's impressive, though, to knock that off.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Just quit cold turkey.
Yeah, that's
but,
why.
I also had. I was a fat slob. I know, but I couldn't get action because I was hideous and I was a fat boy.
Right.
And I
so
said,
you realized one day
I said that's enough. And I did egg whites and turkey 3 months, every day, every meal, exercise, 75 pounds, 3 months.
And good for you.
And my motivation was, women, but certainly it's like I can't walk around like that. I'm probably going to die, which I'll probably die soon, anyways. But that still go back to what your motivation is. But
that's why and whatever. I mean, everybody, you're exactly right. Everybody's got something. That's why it kind of caught my attention. I can't remember the last time I was in line behind somebody who ordered a pack of smokes, and I'm like, I wonder what this costs. And I heard a number. I'm like, $21 for a pack of smokes.
That's a good one.
Wow.
I knew you had it in you.
Blew me away.
Sure.
It totally blew me away.
You could throw any number at you, but that's like, okay, I have to.
Did you ever think I'd throw $21 at you?
No. I never thought someone would wait in line 3 hours for a buffet and have to have the hot dog in the process.
Do you still like Seattle big tonight? This number is, it was like 3.5 when we talked about it on Monday.
Open 1.5, like look ahead line.
Yeah.
Now you got several people out with the Bears. You've lost 9 in a row. The thing that concerns me a little bit are the comments from Seattle. And like McDonald saying, I got to rally the troops here because that was such a demoralizing loss for the Vikings. Against the Vikings. They had to have it. So now they're just, you see the Rams $7 to win the division. It's just like they know they're really up against it because the Rams are taking on a decimated Arizona team and they should win. But it's just, that's what kind of gives me pause. But like it, don't love it. Loved it last week. Like it now, but then again, we're up to 4.5 now. Getting carried away. But how do you make the case for the Bears? They've lost 9 in a row. Yeah. They can't stop anything.
That's right.
They're just, they can't even you can't even read a good comment. Like Komet's like, well, what kind of help with morale? We get, okay, great. Think about it. Their last win was London against Jacksonville. That's also the last time Williams threw a pick. But they're feeling good. They got the bye. Here we go. We can make the playoffs. Haven't won a game since.
They were playing good football at the time. The bye, looking back, came at the worst time imaginable. Based on what has taken place since then.
But everyone has, and also, since the Green Bay game, everyone has moved the ball against them, no problem.
Oh, the defense is absolutely alarming. Here's the only thing. Their offense has been good. Actually, really good in some of these spots. However, again, with a couple of offensive linemen now hurt tonight, that kind of changes things, They were awful against the 49ers, but they were good on Thanksgiving Day. They were good last week, the offense was. Against the Vikings, the offense was totally fine. Right? That went to overtime. So, but I want to back them. I can't do it. Based on everything that we just talked about.
Well,
the comments and also the injuries.
Well, I'm on the edge of my seat because of Survivor.
Yep.
And I can't wait to talk to David Baker, professional poker player, on the pregame show at 7:30 Eastern.
Pro Sports Bettor Brad Powers on the program next. Bowl games to bet on. And is this the biggest bowl game line move we've ever had? We'll ask him next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. Let's some college football here. Hardcore next 2 segments as professional sports bettor Brad Powers joins the program. He's on X at BradPower7. Website is bradpowersports.com, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Brad, happy holidays. How was the trip over the weekend to 2 different college football playoff games?
Yeah, it was cold for starters. Obviously, both games, both Notre Dame and Ohio State, was under freezing for the whole game. But you wish you'd had maybe closer games. Although I didn't, I bet both favorites. But it was something I'm glad I did. Rare opportunity to see 2 playoff games in a matter of 2 days. The first playoff games in home stadiums. So for that, I'm happy that I went. But if you'd asked me, hey, you can't wait to go back next year? No, I won't be doing it next year. I can tell you that.
Okay. How was the flight back? Sounded pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it was certain. You think you'd catch some sleep because an early morning flight back to Vegas, but guy, couldn't handle himself, and threatened to kill everybody on the plane, and we had to go down. Emergency landing in Kansas City. So, something I've never experienced. That I mean. It was interesting to see the FBI come aboard and all that. And knock on wood, I haven't had much travel issues ever, but this trip made up for it with that, having to deplane and then getting delayed. I thought it was going to be really bad though, because obviously it's Christmas. I thought, hey, am I staying in Kansas City type of thing? But thankfully it was only a few hours.
So emergency landing because of this in Kansas City. And then the FBI's waiting as soon as you land and they come on the plane to get him?
Yeah, the FBI's waiting there to come aboard the plane. I mean, once you say something, and he was, so it's literally the row behind me. I didn't know we were going to get into it, but I can story tell. I normally fly first class. I wish I'd have done it. The one time I don't for the last 5 years, this happens. It's in the row behind me. There's hardly anybody on the flight, so I got the poor man's white trash first class. Nobody's in the row with me, so I'm kicking back. I think it's going to be a nice flight. And then in the row behind me, it sounds like the gist of it, his girlfriend broke up with him. He just loses it. He says, I'm nothing without you. I don't care. Started taking off his clothes. Said he was going to kill everybody. Attendants are there. Other people are rushing to get on top of the guy. They take him to the back of the plane. And then there's like 15, 20 minutes where you don't hear anything. So you're thinking, oh, maybe we'll make it to Vegas. And then I have my headphones on. And I could just feel, how you feel the plane like slow down. I'm like, oh, we're going to emergency land. And we ended up doing it. I'm glad they did. Once you act like that and say you're going to kill everybody, it's time you got to get him off the plane.
Yeah. So it didn't end there. Now, who was the individual? How old was the guy then watching porn?
Yeah, he was an older dude. I want to say like 60. And he was sitting. So I did this trip with Todd and a couple guys I do the Bet the Board podcast with. So Todd's sitting across the aisle from me, and he actually could see stuff more. All this, at least he got some visuals. I tried not to, make myself known when this is going on. So I just kept my head down. But I just happened to look up, and this was just, this is after this went on. So keep in mind, there's only like this 15, 20-minute window. I'm like more awake than usual, and I look over to my right, and guy's literally watching porn on his phone
with the volume
like
up.
60. And you think, you're on Spirit. This sounds like a Spirit Airlines clientele. No, it's Delta. I've never had a problem with Delta.
And the volume is up.
Volume I was not up, but
okay,
I don't know how it wasn't, because this guy was like scrolling through like all kinds of stuff, and randomly like I'd hear like Paul Feinbaum's voice. He was watching some college football, so for some reason the porn wasn't up all the way to the max. But this guy blatantly watching porn on the plane.
Wow, that's the Flight from Hell #2.
Yes. Yeah, hell of a documentary. The first, I'd like to see the documentary on this one. Condolences, my friend.
Wow.
Fly first class.
Here, so
you're here. You made it.
Hey,
all right.
Okay, so some bowl games here. The latest one, K-State, Rutgers just started. It went through the key number of 7 at many books right before kickoff, right? K-State, I think on the screen, got to 7.5. Were you involved at all in this game?
Believe it or not, I wasn't. Didn't have. I thought Rutgers was the right side, but that was when I thought Kyle Monungai, who's their outstanding running back, was going to play. And then he just announced it. This was, I believe, Christmas Eve. He said he wasn't going to play. He traveled with the team, but that pretty much, squashed me wanting to say that Rutgers was the side here. So no bet. Rare bowl game I didn't have a bet on.
How big is this line move now tomorrow in the Syracuse-Wazoo game? And is it the biggest point spread move that you can ever recall in a bowl game?
It's certainly up there. I'll have to do some research. We've had some big ones, though, here in recent years, obviously. But I don't think it's done moving yet. People have asked me, what's the point of no return We're not there yet. I mean, if you told me it got to 20, I still wouldn't, Syracuse is the right side, folks. And I said this, I mean, we talked a week or so ago, and you probably asked me when it was 13. I was like, we're not done. Keep moving. Washington State, I don't know how they're feeling the team. I don't know how this bowl game is being played. We got 29 players in the portal. We got 13, 14 starters, head coach, OC, DC, multiple assistants, quarterback. The only team similar so far this bowl season was Coastal. Did that line move matter? That moved a touchdown. Didn't matter. They got beat by 30. So that's what we're looking at tomorrow night. I could still only bet Syracuse.
Okay, incredible. How about the game to start the day? Is it too low now? Oklahoma was 10, and now we're seeing 2.5s.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, this is one where I'm not afraid to play against the line move. And at 2.5, I'm going to bet Oklahoma. They've had obviously a ton of transfers and opt-outs. 10 starters for them. 1 total transfer period for Navy, and not a starter. So I get the move, but I don't get it through 3 at this point. Oklahoma still got majority of their defense. I would hope with a month of prep, with a defensive-oriented coach, that Venables should have something to at least slow this Navy attack down. So Oklahoma minus 2.5 for me.
Couple of games here I'll throw at you at the same time. It's based on kind of the same question. The Miami-Iowa State game. On paper, if everybody was playing right, I think it would be a terrific game. And the other one would be Colorado against BYU. And the Buffalo's favored here. But how long can we possibly expect somebody like Cam Ward to play for Miami in that game? And how long would you expect Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter to play for Colorado?
Yeah, I'll start with the Miami one. At least I think that's priced in a little bit, because I think Miami would probably be 5 or 6 if everyone was playing and playing the full game. So there's at least a little bit of some shade there. I don't think there's any shade on that one. And Colorado, the expectation is those guys are going to play the whole game. I think there's a greater than 0% chance that those guys don't play a full game, whether it's Cam Ward of Miami or Shedeur and Travis at Colorado. The one game I am involved in is BYU. I like BYU, and it's probably one of my favorite bets left on the board. You just told me everyone was playing. I mean, I would be betting BYU +4. So let's just treat it like everybody's playing. And then on top of it, I have a chance that they don't play the full game. So I like BYU quite a bit there. The other game, I think it's in-game live. I do expect, every time it goes to 3, it goes back up. So that tells me somebody knows that Cam Ward is definitely playing. I don't think he's playing the whole game. I don't think Restrepo, their outstanding wide receiver, is going to play, or even play if he does play the whole game. So at 3.5, I can only look towards Iowa State.
So the last time we talked to you loved Army, loved them, and said you weren't afraid to lay 20. And then the game was canceled and they have a new opponent. How do you feel about Army Louisiana Tech Saturday night?
So I did end up betting them when that game opened up, the line 14.5. I went ahead and played it. Now, the expectation I had for Louisiana Tech was, hey, they didn't think they were playing in a bowl game for about 10 days. Everybody going home, season's over, there goes the diet and the routine. I thought a lot of people would hit the portal. A lot of guys didn't hit some hit the portal, but not a lot of starters. So they're not as in bad shape as a Marshall. So I agree with the line move up to 17. I can't play. That's what I made it was 17. So pass.
All right. You have a strong opinion on the Missouri-Iowa game?
I don't. At current, I can only look towards Iowa at +3. Obviously, there's been key opt-outs for both. The Iowa, their outstanding running back, by far their best offensive players out. Luther Burden's out for Missouri. I do like Sullivan's going to play at quarterback for Iowa. I do like his mobility, so I'm going to lean Iowa +3.
Brad, anything tonight? Bowling Green and Arkansas State. We talked about this game a little bit earlier to see if we can come up with a best bet for this game. What do you have, if anything at all?
Yeah, Arkansas State for me at current +10. I think Fanta's going to play. I don't know if he'll play the whole game. He's the All-American tight end for BG. They got 3 starters that were all MAC players that have transferred out and are going to power programs. So they'll be missing that. The problem, it's not a best bet for me, is I don't like this Arkansas State team, period. Right. This is a bottom 10 team statistically in yards per play margin. The worst statistical team of any of the bowl teams. So that's why it's just a lean on Arkansas State +10.
All right. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, professional sports bettor Brad Powers. Again, you can follow him on X. He's at BradPower7. The website is bradpowersports.com. We're going to continue talking with Brad. Coming up next, we'll get his thoughts on, the early numbers that came out for the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs. He loved Texas against Clemson. It got there for him. Does he have similar thoughts when they play Arizona State, laying a big number in their next game. We'll ask them next here on VSiN.